We're talking, it's been 2 days since Diwali happened on the 12th of November, and the city continues to be reeling under poor air quality. In fact, several parts of Delhi and in Gurgaon and Noida, the air quality has been recorded at severe levels. Now, in situations such as this, there have been reactive corrective actions that have been taken by the government of Delhi. But the question we continue to ask is, are corrective measures enough? Can there be a proactive, sustainable, permanent plan that can be set up starting today up until October 2024 to ensure that there is a solution for the Delhi pollution even before the month of October hits? So let's start off this conversation. I have with me Abhinandita Mathur. She is the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. And Abhinandita, today the announcement that was made by the Delhi Environment Minister about deploying these water sprinklers across the length and breadth of the city. And while this is this is an emergency measure, this is a reactive measure to ensuring at least some effort being made in the hopes that there is going to be reduction in the air quality from being severe and severe plus to at least very poor and poor. Do you think the Delhi government had been working in the last year from 2022 up until 2023 to ensure instead of reactive and corrective measures, there could be proactive measures so that Delhiites would not have to see the day?
No, absolutely. I think that to tackle this problem of solution in all sincerity, we must look at both long-term and short-term measures. By short-term, I mean these emergency measures that one has to take, whether it is implementing of the GRAP or odd even or different other schemes that need to be brought in or measures that need to be brought in. Having said that, I think that it is equally important to course correct in a more fundamental way, which the Delhi government is trying to do with long-term measures as well. For example, the fact that, a couple of years ago, we did try a Delhi ki Diwali, where the community came together to celebrate. Now, this big push that we've been trying to do on for public transport, which hopefully will reduce vehicular traffic. We do have a very impactful and positive electric vehicle policy, which is progressive in a way that is showing actually the way to the rest of the states in the country. Hopefully that will eventually reduce. So onboarding on more environmental friendly policies and of actually way of functioning for a big city like this. It is because of these long-term measures that we managed to have about 200 good air quality days in Delhi, and you do know how bad the situation is. Also, I completely understand that the situation at the moment is very bad, and we will leave no stone unturned to actually build a system that ensures that this time of the year is also not as badly impacted as it has been.
Okay, Nandita, the point is that we are well aware that from the time of from 2016 or 2014 up until 2023, the air quality has been deteriorating. Should it be a decision, a collective coming together of political parties and particularly the owners of the Delhi government today? So listen, we stop and we take notice and we understand, okay, we decide that this is going to be the peak of poor air quality in Delhi, and we ensure come hell or high water that next year 2024 the air quality index is not going to reach the level that it has reached in 2023, and then it is going to deteriorate step by step and have these measures in place from 2024 to 2025, 26 and so on and so forth, where gradually we see the air quality index of Delhi improving. The reduction in the particulate matter in the air subsequently reduces consistently over the years.
Yes, I think there are different factors that contribute to pollution, and I should also clarify that pollution and the problems of air quality is not simply a Delhi problem. Why I say this is because we have to look at it not from the point of view of the political map where, X government, X party is ruling this government or that government, but in fact, it is a regional problem. And which is why you are absolutely right that it does need collective streamline effort from, in fact, what we have been demanding is also from the center to take some ownership, some leadership, and create policies that are and ensure that those policies are implemented not just in Delhi but in other states as well. Because the situation where we have reached, honestly, it isn't overnight doing. That is not to say that we are not responsible for our part. In fact, we whenever we come to your show or any other discussion on pollution, we do own up our responsibility and we do assure that we will work harder on it to resolve it. But having said that, I think that there is unfortunately a lot of politicking in this matter, which is actually not helping the cause of those who are suffering because of pollution. It's not helping improve the situation at all. We don't even know, a common person does not even know the name of the environment minister of the country. So this is not a Delhi specific problem. This is not it is a regional problem. This is not a problem that's happened overnight. It is a problem that has been caused long term and requires both emergency and long term.
Okay. So, Abhinandita, also, again, a number of these measures that have been taken in the last slew of them being taken by the environment minister. He's made out these announcements. Maybe whether we talk about the odd even scheme, or we talk about the batti on, engine off, or we talk about this announcement being made today about the water sprinklers, and yesterday there was this anti-burning campaign. What I mean to say is that these campaigns and initiatives that you are launching are actually impacting the very poor in the society or the middle class. Thankfully, odd even is not at this point of time being launched. Hopefully, that's on a hold right now. But also this anti-burning campaign. Now, the bonfires that are being burned, these are by these poor people who are living on the streets, on the footpaths, or our drivers and our guards, and they are the ones who are actually. Is this feasible? Because Delhi government on one hand is talking about the welfare and development of the Aam Aadmi, and on the second hand, parallelly, you are then penalizing the poor people. Where do they get? At the end of the day, if it's 2 degrees, 3 degrees, you don't have a shelter to live, you don't have a pakka house, you are living on your streets, you're guarding a particular house, and you're standing in those outhouses, and all you have to secure yourself from the extreme cold is to burn a bonfire.
Well, it is not without reason that the minister has come up with this announcement today. There are many ways in which we have to take care of the marginalized in our society, and that is also especially a government's responsibility and the collective responsibility of all of us. So there is no slacking away from that. The idea is not to persecute a marginalized person, but to in fact at least have them also as stakeholders, to do whatever it takes. A lot of time, unfortunately, the reason why they're burning those fires is because they're burning it for people like us. Or so there has to be some sort of stringent forming. It is a situation which is extraordinary. So therefore, everybody will have to come together to take. In fact, a couple of days ago, when even the firecrackers created problems. So whatever it takes, we all need to come together and do that. Whether it is in Delhi, whether it is in any other, in Haryana, whether it is in Punjab, whether it is in UP, whether it is in any other state. Though so many of your B towns actually don't even have, the same sort of systems to record our AQIs and so on. So there is a lot that needs to be done everywhere. You be assured that this, at least the Aam Aadmi Party government, is anything but against the marginalized or the Aam Aadmi. That rest assured that will be taken care of. I don't think.
Okay. Abhinandita, to fight pollution on a sustainable long-term level, it is well established that going electric is the way. Also, utilization of renewable energies, the likes of solar power, is something that the world is moving towards, and India should not be far behind in following that particular module, that particular program to ensure that the net zero goal for the country and for every state and every city is achieved. What is the Delhi government's plan in rolling out the solar power plan?
So Delhi actually has one of the highest subsidies on solar power. A couple of our projects, for reasons that need not be repeated here, have been stalled because of our conflict with the center and LG. But having said that, I think that this part of what you say about finding alternative sources and less polluting sources of fuel and of energy is going to play a very critical role, and it does not just include Delhi, but actually a broader, a wider policy that opens up the market, by subsidizing, by actually bringing in investors, by there various kinds of things. We, in fact, do have tie-ups with some RWAs, I'll be honest. It's not kicked off as one would have wanted to because of the challenges I mentioned earlier. There is one particular thing that I would like to mention because I think it's noteworthy, and in the long run, it will hugely benefit Delhi, even if we are not able to see the positive results right away. We are trying to develop Delhi as a city of lakes, which means that 200 wetlands and lakes are being either rejuvenated or cleaned up, and to actually bring some sort of balance in the environment.
Okay.
So there will be short-term and long-term measures, but there have to be fundamental shifts. The cities that we live in today are actually not planned by urban planners. Very fortunately, they have been planned by the greed of builders and a lot of ad hoc construction, because of which our children suffer today. So these are problems that have not happened overnight, and they require long-term solutions as well.
Okay.
With that, I will assure again our audience that the Delhi government will do everything in its capacity to subside the existing problem as much as we can in this emergency case.
Okay, all right, Abhinandita, thanks for sharing your views and putting forth the decision and the game plan of the government of Aam Aadmi Party that is ruling Delhi at this point of time, and hopefully sustained solutions are going to flow in with the political will that you at this point of time have put out for our viewers to then listen to as well. I'm also being joined by I have Atash Shah. He's the founder and CEO of Advancer Edu Ventures Private Limited. Now, Atash Shah, first of all, tell me, what does your company do, and how can it help in curtailing the pollution problem of the city?
Sure, thanks, Megha, and I think a very important topic to discuss today. As far as Advancer is concerned, we are into providing, we are an online platform for AI and data science training programs. And we have specific programs in association with various top institutes of this country, many of which are also focused on helping out in terms of solving social issues such as pollution. For instance, IIT Kanpur or UPS. These are the institutes that we partner with in terms of delivering training programs in AI and data science. And today, AI is a kind of solution which can be used across different industries to solve various problems. And in this area of pollution or controlling pollution, AI can play a very, very important role. If you look at various solutions that can be implemented as far as AI is concerned, one of the topmost, as Abhinandita also mentioned, is monitoring of air quality, right? AI-based sensors can be kind of implemented across cities, across the city, for instance, in Delhi, to monitor the air quality index over there and to provide advance warning of when pollution is likely to occur. And these AI-based systems can actually monitor all kinds of data, be it industrial pollution, be it vehicle pollution, be it some of the farm burning, field burning that happens in Punjab and Haryana. So these systems can actually help in providing early warning to citizens.
Okay, all right. Let me also get in Amit Bhatt on the telecast with me. He's the ICCT EV tech expert. Now, Amit, the focus that we give on implementation of making Delhi electric and the entire nation electric is something that is of utmost importance. There have been plans that have been laid out by the Delhi government as well, starting off with the buses and also giving subsidies and incentives for people who are wanting to purchase electric vehicles. How can we take this forward, keeping in mind that the out of the 40% of the vehicular pollution that is emanated, majority of it is emanated from the trucks, the commercial trucks that are plying on the streets?
No, absolutely. And I think if you look at the pollution profile, two-wheeler, three-wheeler is roughly about 44% together in the transport. And then comes the next big chunk, about 23-24% is from the trucks. So I think Delhi government has done fantastic well in terms of looking at electrification of two-wheelers and three-wheelers and also the buses. So I think that's a very good story. But again, the big piece which is still not clear on how we will address is the trucks piece. And I think this is where the Delhi government can also take leadership, because now we are seeing electric trucks becoming reality, not only in China, but also in Europe and US. And so I think we think that the next version of Delhi EV policy, which is Delhi EV 2.0 is being talked about, that can look at trucks as well. And one of the starting pieces of that piece will be maybe electrifying the municipal fleets. So you have all these garbage disposal trucks, horticulture trucks, water dispensing tankers. So if we can start electrifying these, then we can also kind of look at a possibility of larger electrification of bigger form factors. And I think that to me will be a game changer of sorts, because trucks is not only a problem in Delhi, but the rest of the country as well. And what we have seen from Delhi is that as being one of the pioneer states in rolling out EV policy, if they can also start tackling the truck piece, then I think we will see a much larger factors.
Okay.
But just one point on this is why it is important is that, we have still not understood the real emission from transport. And I think we are now trying to understand the real world emission of transport vehicle is much more than the lab values. So electrification gains are much farther and much bigger than what we have expected. And I think once we see this shift happening, we will see a much better air quality, but also much larger reduction in criteria pollutant exposures, which we see on the streets in our cities.
Also, Amit, is there a time frame that can be set for the governments? Like you said, when you come to controlling trucks and turning them electric, it's not just a job of one particular government. It has to be a collaboration between all states and the central government chipping in as well. Is there a time frame, a gestation period that we can look at and put our foot down and say that, listen, this is our goal post and these are how many years we'll have to take to reach that goal?
Absolutely, and you have hit the nail on the head. I think what we have seen from global best practices, cities are putting a timeline for this transition. There are countries, the cities which have said we will not register internal combustion engine vehicle after 2035 or 2040. Similarly, if you go back in the history, you will see that Delhi changed its fuel when Supreme Court intervened and pushed for CNG conversion. So I think this is an opportune time where we have to set targets, and this target setting will not only happen with Delhi government, the center also has to step in, and not only for Delhi, in fact, of the entire NCR and in fact the Indo-Gangetic plain we'll have to look at together of setting phasing out of targets of gross polluting vehicles.
Okay, all right. Quickly getting in, Dr. Shuchin Bajaj, he's the internal medicine Ujala Cygnus Hospital. Dr. Bajaj, shedding light into the current conversation and how do you and your profession gets involved in the Delhi air pollution problem?
Megha, as Amit correctly said, it is not just a Delhi problem. It is the whole Indo-Gangetic plain that is shrouded in a haze throughout these winter months. And we run hospitals in small towns. We run 7 hospitals in Uttar Pradesh, which is almost similar. Ghaziabad, Kanpur, Varanasi, they're almost equally affected. We have patients coming in all the way. And unfortunately, what I have seen is that incremental changes will not work. Transformative changes need to be present. But unfortunately, in the human history, transformative change only happens when really powerful people are affected, right? We saw that when London was developing, we had the Great Plague in the 17th century. It needed the entire city of London to be burned down to affect changes for the rodents. We had the Great Stink in 1858, where the Parliament of London had to shift because the smell was intolerable from the Thames, and only then a modern sewerage system was implemented in London. And most recently, we had in 1952 the Great Smog of London, where the entire London was shrouded in the month of December for 10 days. Almost more than 10,000 people died, and more than 100,000 became really sick and had to be admitted. And then London tried working towards very, very transformative AQI tracking as well as the interventions. And now you see London has an AQI of 3 or 4 all the time, all around the year, in spite of the weather. So we need to work on really transformative changes. Unfortunately, staying indoor is not a solution. We've seen that indoor pollution, out of the 7 million people being killed every year due to air pollution in the world, half of that is due to indoor pollution and only half is outdoor. So until and unless all the politicians and the policymakers who are ensconced safely with their air purifiers in the rooms inside are affected as equally as the poor school children who can't go to school right now and are in their homes, I think it needs to be an equal effect on all of them to make us act very, very severely on all these problems.
I have with me R.K. Mishra as well. He is the co-founder of Yulu. Now, R.K. Mishra, particularly, we are speaking about turning Delhi electric. There have been measures that have been put in place, rules, regulations, incentives, subsidies that have been provided by the Delhi government. How soon should this program be rolled out to the rest of the country as well?
So I think, first of all, I think Delhi has been almost the pioneer in putting the policy, and very recently they've also brought the policy of aggregator. Actually, one thing which, including the FAME, have made a mistake, they are incentivizing individual buyers of cars and bikes. Individual buyers will use maybe 1 hour or 2 hours a day their car and bike, and we are giving money to them, including FAME too. Whereas the maximum usage are the goods vehicle. A delivery guy runs almost 100 to 200 kilometers per day and making 15 to 20 deliveries. So all the people who are doing this kind of delivery, either of goods or services, they are either owning on their own or actually taking from fleet aggregators like Yulu and everybody else. And I think Delhi has come up with this policy, but I think the way they will implement will make a big difference. I think, for example, they should say Swiggy and Zomato and Instacart and Zepto, okay, every year you need to make minimum 25 to 30% of your bikes electric. Now prove it. Now what mistake Delhi government has made, I spoke with the Transport Secretary of Delhi. He said every new bike, how are you going to figure out what is a new bike? There's no way for you to figure out out of the new bikes will make 30%. No. You tell them that of your total users who are delivering on Swiggy, Zomato, Instacart, Zepto, should be 30% should be electric. Very easy. Because now they don't have to buy. Earlier they said, oh, these are poor people, how can they afford? No, they cannot. It's a 200 rupees per day. Yulu is 200 rupees per day. And almost in Bangalore, 1/3 delivery happens on Yulu. Why can't it happen in Delhi or any other city? And I'm sure there are other companies also. I'm just talking about one company. So this is very important. Please focus where you'll make a big impact. That is number one. Of course, by converting only bikes and delivery guys is not going to change. Then how about taxis? Why can't Ola, Uber be told that 30% of yours, cars will be electric this year? In 3 years, everybody goes electric. Now there are enough cars available. Earlier they were not available. They were more expensive. Blue Smart is doing a very good job, so it's possible. But Ola, Uber have no incentive or penalty to go electric. So I think there are policy. I don't know why they are not doing. To me, it's very obvious. And to a common person, it's like low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Converting me, who already have 2 cars, buying another electric car, it's either a statement or it is a luxury. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to reduce pollution by using electric car. I think the taxi guys, aggregators and good services, they should be forced to go electric in 3 years. It's very much possible. Now there are enough variety, enough models and low cost.
Okay.
I think they should consider that.
Okay. All right. There's another aspect that I want to get Abhinandita again, because this has been a very political, volatile subject for the past several years because of the air pollution that Delhi witnesses every single year this season. It's about the Parali burning. Now, there has been a statement, Abhinandita, that has been made by the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari today. He said that The bitumen, bio-CNG, LNG are made from stubble. So there are 185 such projects that have already been started in Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh for production of CNG and LNG. Now ethanol, bio-bitumen, aviation fuel are being produced in Panipat. The government is trying to hasten it up, and gradually the prices of stubble will also increase, and there will be a good market for stubble, and the problem of stubble burning will also be solved. And he said that when he was in Punjab, he suggested to them that a policy should be made and farmers should be included to convert stubble from waste to wealth. Again, you think this is going to be a very constructive, feasible solution to a problem? Again, already a statement in this regard about MSP on stubble selling has already been made in the Supreme Court. And there has been the Haryana government who has also come out with this action plan saying that there is going to be an ascertaining of the MSP that is going to be then provided to the farmers who end up selling stubble to the government, to the biogas plants and so on and so forth. So again, like I said, this is not a short-term plan, it's a long-term sustainability plan. Should the Punjab government also look at these options?
Absolutely. I think this is very constructive suggestion by the union minister. I don't see any problem. In fact, that is the spirit in which we expect everybody to work at this point, is to actually come together and find solutions. See, you're right in actually pointing out that this is a long-term solution, because, oftentimes when parali happens, we are very quick to say, why has it not stopped overnight and so on, because unfortunately it is a very deep-rooted practice in almost a culture of agriculture. So it is very difficult to find a complete shift, both taking together the farmers and the industry and providing these solutions. But I think that is absolutely the right way. We have managed to reduce 50% parali burning this year, and we are really hopeful that by next year we would have been able to achieve much more. Just to cut ourselves some slack, we have also inherited Punjab that has different kinds of tough situations, and I think that given the fact that we do have a policy at least in place, which is slowly being implemented, but will be by next year fully, is that, taking together the stakeholders, because now, for example, we've created this, the Kisan Mitras, who are on the field, about 4,500, where there is a one-on-one interaction with the farmers. Of course, the problem is taking time to get, to be solved entirely, but I'm hopeful that it will, and your point well taken. Also, your the point about shifting our electric vehicle policy focus to aggregators is a point very well taken. I think all these suggestions will eventually make the big impact, and I think it is people for us to. I'm also very grateful that this debate has not become about a screaming match, a political screaming match, because we genuinely are here to work on this problem, and it only makes sense, and that is what our viewers deserve as well, to see that all stakeholders are earnestly, sincerely actually committing to work on pollution instead of either communalizing the problem or trivializing the problem. And
yeah, okay. Thank you, Anandita, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Going forward and taking a stance that yes, there has to be a collaborative measure that needs to be taken into force to ensure that not just Delhi but the rest of North India does not smoke bad air during these periods. And like I said, the central government and the state governments need to come together. There are solutions that have been put out on paper. They need to be implemented. A long-term solution is what we are looking at. Sustainability is the goal. And let's work together, crack our heads, and finally come to a solution for a better, cleaner, greener city that Delhi needs to become.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.